This lesson is on the theme of health and fitness and specifically healthy eating. So to give you some nice sentence starters, just the starter task is literally just some translation of all these different meals of the day. So we'd like you to copy them out or print out the slide and put them into English. Answers coming up straight away verbally. So firstly, all of these words that each of the sentences start with, pour means for. And I'm going to go through the rest of the vocab now. Pour le repas de midi is for midday meal, which is another way of saying lunch. You might remember à midi from when you did time in year 7 and since then. Pour le petit déjeuner means for breakfast. Pour le goûter means not really a meal of the day, it means for a snack. Now, le goûter is obviously a noun, so that's a snack. But goûter, which I've circled there as a verb, actually means to taste. So it makes sense really because it's like a little quick taste of something. Next one's super easy. Pour le dessert is a cognate for dessert. Then you have pour le déjeuner, which is for lunch. And we finish with an easy one, pour le dîner for dinner. I'm sure you've noticed either today or in previous French lessons that the word déjeuner, which means lunch on its own, actually means that the French word for breakfast translates as for little lunch, which is a bit weird. So now you have got 6 different meals of the day that you could start your sentences with. Now, let's look at the 2 main verbs we need, eating and drinking, for talking about our food and drink habits, okay? What is the French for I eat? Have a little think. It is just je mange. Okay, well done if you got that. If you were guilty of saying je mange, please be careful and remember that the E at the end of that present tense verb is silent. Je mange. Okay, how do we say I drink? Again, in the present tense, it's just 2 parts and it is je bois. So there are 2 of the main sentence starters we're going to need. However, you should know by now that you shouldn't just be starting your sentences with je and just talking about yourself. You get extra credit if you can talk about somebody else or you with a group of people. So let's look at the 3 key verbs in this topic and look at the verb endings to get it really accurate. So here is half of the verb manger. We're only looking at I, he, she and we for the next 3 slides. I would like you to rewrite that verb, the half a verb there, but with the verb endings matched up correctly to the correct person because they are not in the right place. So pause the PowerPoint, have a think, have a copy, and here are your answers. I'm going to start with je mange because we've just seen it on the previous slide. Je mange, 2 parts, silent ending, I eat. Many of you will already remember that nous always has an ending with ons. There's literally 1 verb exception, so nous, the verb ending is ons, okay? And I'm going to tell you now, which is going to help you on the next 2 slides, that il and l, the verbs with il and l, no matter what the verb is that you're talking about, the verb endings are going to be the same, okay? It happens to be an e again here because we're talking about a regular er infinitive verb. Je mange, il mange, elle mange, nous mangeons. Okay. Next key verb is prendre, which means to have. With food and drink, not like I have a brother, I have a sister, I have a pen, but like consuming. So I have my breakfast. Okay. Pause the PowerPoint, copy it out in the right order. I'm going to go through these answers in a different order. I'm going to start at the bottom. I've reminded you a moment ago that nous has a verb ending of ons, so it's nous prenons. Okay? I also told you that il and elle always have the same verb ending, so if we look at what's left, it must be il prend, elle prend, because they both have a silent D on the end, which leaves the trickiest one till last, probably, process of elimination, je prends, which has an S on the end, although it is silent. Last verb is boire, to drink. Okay, match them up. Okay, so I'm going to start in the middle this time. Why not? Il and elle. Miss has told us that always has the same verb ending, so it must be il boit, elle boit, with the identical T endings. Correct. Nous always ends in ONS, so nous buvons. And actually, je bois, we saw just 2 or 3 slides ago, je bois, present tense, I drink. Okay, so you've got some sentence starters there to talk about what I eat or drink or have, he or she eats or drinks or has, and what we eat, drink or have. So that's a really, really good variety using different people. However, it's brilliant if you can get tenses in. In fact, you can't pass without varying your tenses to a certain degree. You need to be able to talk in the present tense and or the future tenses and the past tenses as well. Okay, so this is another match-up task for you, but a bit more complex. You have got the verbs to eat, to drink and to have down the left-hand side in black in French, and I'd like you to look at all those patterns, verb endings that you've probably met in previous lessons and texts and try and match them up. So do pause the PowerPoint because I'm going to go through straight away. Okay, let's start with eating. So je mange, 2 parts, we've just met it on the previous slide, I eat. Present tense is 2 parts, short, sharp, punchy, no funny endings. I'm now going to go to the past tense, but second one from the bottom, just please watch, I'm going to add an accent on here, so it seems to have disappeared. This is the one. Second from the bottom, j'ai mangé means I have eaten or I ate. And your giveaway for the past tense is that it often starts with j'ai, I have done something, and not always, but it quite often has an E accent. So j'ai mangé is I ate. Okay, I'm now going to this one here, second one down, je vais manger. Okay, now manger that I've just circled there is the infinitive, which means to eat. So I'm going to match that up with the answer straight away. It actually means I am going to eat. It's a direct translation. Je vais is I'm going and manger is to eat. And this is our last verb in the verb to eat collection we have here. And it has an AIS ending. This is probably the tense of the 4 that I've put up on this slide that you probably need more practice with because you probably met this the less often, the least often. Je mangeais, actually we're going straight across here, is I used to eat. This AIS ending is what we call the imperfect past, saying what you used to do. So hopefully from those explanations, if we go through the verb to drink now, you'll be able to put some of them into practice and see some repeated patterns. So firstly, je bois means I drink. It's present tense, 2 parts, no funny endings, and we just saw it a minute ago. Then we have j'ai bu. Now we don't have an E accent here at all on the verb ending, but we have got j'ai, meaning I have drunk. So that's I drank, that's your past tense. There we go. The next one, oh, we have je vais and we have boire, which means I'm going to drink. Following the pattern from the je vais manger, I'm going to eat. And the next one, which is in the drinky family, AIS ending, I've just said that's what you used to do, so I used to drink. Okay, last verb to go through with you. I'm going to start with je prends here, 2 parts. It means I have, and in fact we had that on one of the first slides. I'm now going to look at this one here, j'ai pris, because we've been following a pattern of I have had. That's the past tense because it starts with j'ai. I have done something. So that is right at the bottom there. And then let's go to this one here, je vais prendre. Hopefully you spotted the patterns, and this means I am going to have. Okay, finally, je prenais. With that AIS ending, I used to have. There you go. Now I did colour code the 3 verbs to make it slightly less like spaghetti junction there, people, but it's still a higgledy-piggledy mess. So I would urge you to re-listen to that explanation, highlight all the endings that I drew attention to, and write it out really clearly for yourselves. Maybe you'd like to write it in 4 columns, present, past tense, the near future saying what I am going to do, and obviously you've got that other past tense as well, the imperfect saying what you used to do. Right then, So after all that verb ending concentration, let's do some vocab building. This activity is a cherche l'intrus, which means search for the intruder. So in English we'd say find the odd one out. So groups of vocabulary numbers 1 to 5 are food and drink items, and at the bottom 6 and 7 we've got some opinion vocabulary. Okay, can you please, ideally here, it'd be great if you could print it off, because then you could just circle or highlight the odd one out. You would always be expected to justify your answer, why you've gone for that one. So no random guesses, have a good look, think what they mean, off you go. Right then, so answers here. In the top one, your odd one out is le coca, because it's Coca-Cola, and le jus de tomate, le jus d'orange are both fruit juices. Number 2, odd one out is le riz, meaning rice. The other 3, le jambon, le poulet, le beefsteak, are all types of meat. Number 3, your odd one out in number 3 is la confiture. Le fromage means cheese, le beurre means butter, le lait means milk. La confiture means jam. And well done if you remember that. So it's the odd one out because it's not a dairy product. There's actually another justification here. You might have noticed that it's actually also the only noun there that is feminine, whereas the other 3 are masculine. So that would be a reasonable justification. Okay, the next 3 are all masculine with le poisson, le poulet, le jambon, so that doesn't work there, unfortunately. Your odd one out is le poisson because the other 2 are meats. Okay, in number 5, your odd one out is supposed to be la viande. The reason that we meant was because that means meat, and the other 2 are vegetables, les pommes de terre, potatoes, and les épinards are spinach. Again, you might have noticed that actually, you might have noticed the grammatical odd one out reason there. La viande is the only one that's singular and feminine, in fact. Okay, to the opinions, I'd like to think number 6 was quite straightforward. J'aime means I like, and the other 2, je n'aime pas, I don't like, and je déteste, I hate, are negative. Same thinking in number 7. Délicieux is positive, it means delicious, whereas affreux, awful, dégoûtant, disgusting, nul, rubbish, bad are all negative. Okay, so some nice vocab building there for you. And now some more grammar. Okay, if we are saying what we eat or drink or have actually, but we're looking at the verb mange on this slide. In fact, we're looking at the straightforward present tense, je sentence starter, je mange, I eat. Because the bit I'm focusing on now are these little words beginning with D, which I'm going to circle at the top. We have du, we have de la, we have de l, and we have d. Okay, if I'm saying that I eat chicken, like I have here, I would not say je mange le poulet, because this would mean I eat the chicken, and we just wouldn't talk like that in a nice flowy language. Yeah, for breakfast I eat the cereal. It just doesn't sound right. So in English we would just say I eat chicken, or we could say I eat some chicken. And in French, the word for some must be there. If it's a masculine item, you say je mange du. So if the item is le in a dictionary or in your word list, you actually change that le to je mange du poulet, which means I eat some chicken. If the food item is feminine, so it has la in front of it, quite often ends in an e, but not always, it has to change to de la. So je mange de la glace is I eat ice cream, or I eat some ice cream. If the word starts with a vowel, so it would start with L apostrophe anyway, you change it to de L apostrophe. So I eat pineapple, I eat some pineapple is je mange de l'ananas. Okay? And finally, if it's plural, so it would have L-E-S in front of it, so les, it has to change to des. So je mange des carottes, I eat carrots, or I eat some carrots. Okay? So lots of information there. You've got the opportunity to rewind and go over that explanation again, because you will need these little words on the next activity slide. So what I would like you to do is fill in those gaps with the correct little word meaning some from the previous slide and explanation. And your answers are, you might have had to look up steak to see that that is in fact a masculine noun, and that means the little word you need is du. Je mange du steak haché. That's like mincemeat, du steak haché, because it's hacked. Okay, the next one. You can see at a glance that this is in fact plural because it ends in an S. So we need je mange des haricots. Okay? You might have had to look up that this word glass for ice cream was feminine. You might have remembered, you might have taken a wild guess because it happens to end in an E. It is indeed feminine, which means it's je mange de la glace. Okay? And the last one, you can see at a glance, starts with a vowel, so we need je bois, terrible E, je bois de l'eau. You have to put an apostrophe to make it flow. Very well done if you got all of those right. Right then, it seems now that we're taking a few steps backwards because we're going to look at some simple opinion sentences, but I find this really important at this stage because now we've looked at the words for some in a really well structured sentence saying what we eat, what we drink, or what we have. We need those pesky little words for some beginning with de, yeah, du, de la, de. But if you are just giving a simple opinion, you just go back to those little words that you're probably a bit more confident with, okay? I don't want to hear or read sentences now. For example, j'adore des frites, which would mean I love some chips, because that just sounds weird. If you want to say that you love chips, you just say j'adore les frites, just like you're used to giving your opinions. So my little memory technique for my own classes for this is if you are saying what you like, so stressing the le word there, maybe sounding a bit foolish, but I'll say it again. If you are saying what you like, or what you love, or what you don't like, which maybe doesn't work so well, but the whole point is you focus on the l, and you have to use a little word that also starts with a l, okay? So let's make some sentences. Please can you write 1 to 5 in your margin. I'm going to dictate some English sentences to you, and I want you to write them down in French. Everything you need is on the PowerPoint slide in front of you. And I'm going to go through the answers as we go along. Okay? Number 1, write down the French for I love pizza. And your answer is, if I'm going too fast for you, please pause the PowerPoint before I go through the answers, okay? The answer is, j'adore la pizza. We're giving an opinion, we're saying what we love, so we use a little word beginning with l, okay? J'adore la pizza. Next one, I like rice. Your answer is, j'aime le riz, okay? Next one, I hate spinach. Your answer is, je déteste les épinards. There they are at the bottom. Okay, next one. I don't like tomato juice. Your answer is, je n'aime pas le jus de tomate. Now, I'm sure you know which opinion I'm going to ask you to write down now. Please write down the French for I prefer jam. And your answer is, and please check out my pronunciation here, I prefer is je préfère. It is not je préfère, okay? That's I favourite. Je préfère, I prefer, and what did I ask you for? La confiture. Je préfère la confiture. I prefer jam. Okay, moving on. Final slide. So actually I'm leaving you with an activity. I'll explain what I would like you to do, and then ideally you'll be able to print this slide off and complete the unjumbling puzzle. So from the title, hopefully you can see, it says qu'est-ce qu'on aime, which means what do we like. You have got sentence anagrams here, but the words are not mixed up, yeah? The words are in the right order and they're separated. So let's do the top one together. The top one here, you've got, why won't that underline? you have one word, a middle word, and a third word. And I think you can tell what that is at a glance. So I'm going to write this in, as I hope you will do on your printed out worksheets. Yep, you've got j'adore. There is a reason why I'm putting you through the torture of watching me struggle to write like this. J'adore, and then la, and then pizza. Okay, I'll start it so I'll finish. J'adore. Lucky we don't need that Z. J'adore la pizza. There we go. Now you might have noticed that some of the boxes are numbered. Okay, so you have got 2 boxes there that are numbered. Box 6 was an E, so we have to write an E in box 6 in the puzzle at the bottom, and box 22 is an L. So there you go. Every time you fill in any of these numbered boxes, you have to put the corresponding letter at the bottom, and eventually that will spell out another food and drink and opinion sentence. Okay, so you're nearly ready to have a go at that, but I do want to just point out a typo. This bit at the bottom here should not be an N and an I, it should be an L and an I. So please change that on your sheets, and then off you go. Okay, part 2 to this healthy eating PowerPoint is coming your way very soon. So good luck with that and enjoy. Au revoir.